Fifth grade, let's talk about rationing women and African Americans during World War II. I like to call this back at home. Rationing means restricting how much people can buy. Americans were asked to make sacrifices during World War II. People were asked to conserve materials to help factories make products needed for the war. They had to accept rationing of items like coffee, meat, butter, and even shoes. Rationing was common during World War II. Every person was given ration cards, which limited the amount of certain items that you could buy so that the military would have enough for everything that they needed. When people went to the store, they had to show their ration cards in order to buy certain items. If they had already used their ration that month, then they would not be allowed to buy more of that item. Rationing was hard, but the citizens of the United States worked together. There was a common goal: win the war and bring the troops home. Rationing helped make sure the soldiers had enough supplies and was also necessary because some supplies were unavailable because of the war. Things rationed during World War II: gasoline, bacon, butter, sugar, meat, tea, coffee, cereal, fruit, cheese, canned food, shoes, firewood, coal, cloth, tires, typewriters, bicycles, radios, etc., etc., etc. Women during World War II. Before the war, it was generally expected that a working man was the main provider for his family. So any woman who took a job was somehow taking it from a man who needed it to support his family. With so many men away at war, this argument could no longer stand. The role of women changed during World War II. With so many men in the military, there were lots of businesses that needed workers. Thousands of women went to work in jobs that had usually belonged to men. Women joined the war effort in mass numbers and worked in factories making war supplies while the men went off to war. Times were changing. After the war, many women remained in the workforce. Women were recruited to many jobs, which would previously have been considered too physically hard for them: welding, machine repair, operating tractors and other large engines. They made uniforms, weapons and ammunition. They helped build trucks, tanks, and airplanes. Types of jobs women took on during World War II: farming, factory jobs, building weapons, building tanks and trucks, building planes and ships, machine repair, nurse, office jobs, radio operators, military jobs, streetcar conductors, truck drivers, pilots. Rosie the Riveter. Rosie the Riveter was a fictional character appearing on government posters. She encouraged women to help the war effort. A riveter is a person who uses a hammer to fasten parts together. African Americans during World War II. African Americans began to get good jobs in places like steel mills and shipyards because of the need of workers during the war. African Americans could not get these jobs before. The Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee Airmen was a group of African American pilots trained at Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. They were the first African American pilots to join the United States military. They were segregated from the white troops. These men flew alongside the big slow bombers traveling to Europe to protect them. Not one bomber was lost while being escorted by the Tuskegee Airmen. Last but not least, have a nice day.